Welcome to the podcast today, friends. If you are struggling with sugar cravings, you are not alone. Whether it's stress, fatigue, or the emotional ups and downs of daily life, I know it can feel impossible to break free from those sugar cravings and the cycle that you're stuck in. So today I'm going to be talking about how to reduce sugar cravings and really fight this battle against sugar because we're surrounded by it so that you can have more energy. So maybe you have a demanding lifestyle. Maybe you're taking care of people, working full-time, managing challenges. Well, this episode is for you. I'm going to share a little bit of background information and then some tips to get you started so that you can start building healthier habits, lose weight, and feel better. Hi, friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michele, mama 4 and military wife. And I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. So before I jump into the episode today, I just want to share a sale that I have going on. So from now until January 19th, you can get 25% off your first 3 months of personal training through my app. So it's all online on your own time. Just use the code NEWYEAR25 when you check out. So imagine having a personal trainer right in your pocket this year. You would have me to guide you every step of the way, lay out your workouts for you, help to keep you accountable, and really create a plan that works for you, that's customized, not some cookie cutter program. You'll be able to have unlimited messaging with me for the extra support, accountability, and coaching. We're going to create custom habits for you because it's not just about working out. We have to look at our health holistically. And then you'll also be part of my weekly group chat in the app where I send quick group coaching videos each week with inspiration and practical tips to keep you motivated. You even have the option to add 2-minute quick meditations daily to help with that stress release and to focus your mind. So friends, once you sign up, you're going to receive an email from me with a Google form, and then that's going to help us set up everything inside of the app. And then during the last week of January, you're going to have the chance to schedule a free health coaching call with me where we can dive deeper into what's working for you, what's not, what are your struggles and your goals. So that will be a great bonus to help keep you moving forward. So if you're dealing with stress eating, low energy, wanting to get in shape and lose weight, then this is your chance to make a change and get the support you need. So make sure you check the description down below where you can find out more about my personal training app and sign up. Just use that code NEWYEAR25 by the 19th to get that special deal. All right, so sugar cravings and emotional eating are very common. Like, we are so surrounded by sugar and sweets and even things like chips and bread. Those basically act like sugar in our bloodstream because they're so broken down and they convert into sugar very quickly. So part of the problem with sugar cravings is more of that emotional roller coaster, that emotional eating, that stress eating. And it's super important to really find the core problem of what's going on. And in the episode before this, I touched on this a little bit. So often we want to just do something that seems very objective, like we want to follow a keto diet or something that's very specific, and we think that's going to solve our problem. But where there are sugar cravings, there's usually some type of emotional or stress eating, and that is part of the core problem. So we really have to figure out what is the core problem here. We don't want to put a Band-Aid on it and slap a diet on it or just try not to eat something. We have to figure out what that core problem is. So when you're having sugar cravings, your body is stuck in a cycle. And then when we have sugar, a lot of times we tend to crave more and more sugar. So we get stuck in that cycle. But we have to become aware of our emotions. And I want you guys to remember that God created us to have all sorts of emotions, what we think are negative and positive emotions. We're really not meant to live in all positive emotions all the time. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have some stress. It's okay to be bored. We're in this overstimulated world that sometimes it feels hard to deal with boredom. But I want you guys to know that these emotions are okay to have. They are normal to have. But what happens is we don't like how they feel in our body. We don't like how that anxious feeling makes us feel or how that sad feeling makes us feel. And we try to avoid it and get a dopamine hit by reaching for those cookies, that ice cream, that bag of chips, whatever that is, because it temporarily makes us feel better and we don't have to feel that uncomfortable feeling. But remember, these feelings just create a sensation in our body that we're running from, that is making us do things that we don't want to do. And we can start to stop this cycle. We have to become aware of it. So I encourage you to become aware of what are those emotions, those sensations in your body that you're trying to avoid when you go and reach for food. So this is typically a core problem. So this is what we need to figure out. And especially if you're stuck here, this is especially where health coaching can be very helpful to dig into this, dig deeper. And it's not like a one and done. It's not like, oh, my problem is I get anxious and then I grab for food so I can fix that. It's a process to work through it, but you can do that. And when you work on this core problem, then you're going to have a lot more freedom over the long run instead of just trying to slap some diet on for 4 to 6 weeks and then you come back to the same problem. So don't try to skirt by this problem. Start to work through those emotions and get that extra support. I do health coaching. Also, even within my personal training app, I'm able to send voice messages to clients. So it's real easy to do some asynchronous coaching right in my app too when it comes to these types of things. The next thing I want you to know is the impact that sugar has on your mood and energy. So a lot of times sugar, or even, the bread or the chips, the things that act like sugar in our bloodstream, give us a quick boost. We get dopamine. It spikes our blood sugar, which makes us temporarily get that energy boost. But it doesn't last. We tend to then crash. A lot of times when it spikes up high, our blood sugar, it can come down hard and fast. And we really want to have pretty stable blood sugar throughout the day. We want like some of these little like rolling hills as we're eating, but we don't want those huge spikes. And when we're getting those huge spikes, it's another topic, but that also leads to insulin resistance and all different sorts of things like that. And it affects our hormones in our body too. And we want our hormones to function as well as we can. So it comes back to this idea of really having stable blood sugar throughout the day. And so you might even notice for yourself, if you're feeling stressed and fatigued at the end of the day, that you're reaching for those quick carbs and that sugar. So we have to go back to this idea of how can we work on maybe that stress and fatigue if that's what's causing us to eat at the end of the day. What do I need to do that? And sometimes that feels so overwhelming because it's not like I feel stressed, this is the solution, or I feel fatigued, there's this easy answer. A lot of times there's not easy answers to these things, but there is an answer. You can work through this. You can talk it out with someone. You can start to get in a problem-solving, solution-based mode, working on these core problems, and then you're able to problem solve and figure out what you do need. And sometimes we have to try different things. So maybe for that person who is feeling stressed at the end of the day, maybe we try one thing and it helped a little bit, or maybe it didn't help at all. But we have to stay in that mindset that I can try different things. Like, it's okay. Just because this didn't work to help relieve my stress, it doesn't mean I'm stuck. So what is something else I could try? How come that didn't work out? And we shift our brain to this problem-solving mode. Then we're able to start to find solutions and tweak things and try things till we get to where we want to be. And so often people have a hard time getting in this problem-solving mode without beating themselves up. And if we're beating ourselves up, it's really taking away from our ability to use our cognitive brain, our prefrontal cortex, to solve problems. So we have to be able to do it from a mode of like, okay, that didn't work. Now what can I do? What else can I try? Why didn't that work? Start asking yourself questions. And so we want to get to this place where we're really working on building healthier habits and managing our time, managing our stress. Sometimes if we're using that example as stress, I've seen this with clients where stress is the problem that then causes the overeating. And what do they need to do to decrease their stress? Maybe they need to actually leave work on time or go to bed at a certain time. And so you can see it's not anything they really have to do with the food or a certain diet. It's a shift they need to make in their personal life in order to be able to choose these healthier habits. All right, the next little tip I want to talk about is how getting active can actually help with sugar cravings. So one thing that happens with exercise and blood sugar is that when we use our muscles, it pulls the sugar in our bloodstream into our muscles. So it can improve that insulin sensitivity. So our bodies are meant to move. And so when we move our bodies and we're exercising, where they're getting our heart rate up, we're making our muscles burn, then we're using that food as energy. And food is meant to be energy. But most of us, we're surrounded by excess food, and instead the energy from food becomes body fat because we have too much. So the exercise can help to balance those blood sugar levels. Exercise also helps to boost endorphins, and sometimes when we go to grab a sugary sweet or chips or whatever that is, we want that feel-good hit that we get from dopamine. But when we exercise, we can also get some feel-good hormones. When we're active, we just naturally get that mood boost, especially once we've done exercise enough where it's not like super hard and it feels good. And something that goes right along with that is exercise can reduce stress. And commonly, stress is one of those triggers for emotional eating. So when we can start to reduce our stress and lower our cortisol, our stress hormone, then that helps us to not be so triggered that would then lead to those sugar cravings and grabbing that quick snack, that sugary food to help us to feel better. And also, especially if you're someone who deals with fatigue, sometimes when we exercise, and we exercise in a way that we're not like overdoing it, but sort of that right amount, it can actually help to improve our energy levels. So sometimes if we're feeling drained and sluggish and we do nothing, that's how we continue to feel. But sometimes if we can get some movement in without overdoing it, whether that's walking, quick strength training, or a quick yoga for strength training, those can actually help to increase our energy instead of us reaching for food to increase our energy. And I also think just as we start to exercise and move our bodies more, we just start to become more mindful and more aware of our body and our body cues. So when we're exercising and we're tuning into our body and our muscles and how they're feeling, it's the same thing that we need to apply when we go to eat. How am I feeling? Hungry, full? What does my body feel like? Or how does this emotion feel in my body? And some of those can start to overlap. So I just wanted to share that about exercise because it's something that we don't think about or we don't make the connections how exercise and being active can actually help with sugar cravings and blood sugar and energy and stress. So I want you to remember as you're listening to this, if you're struggling with sugar cravings, that you're not alone, that it's a common thing and if you're struggling with that emotional eating or stress eating or boredom eating or anxious eating, you're not alone. It's okay. And you can start with some of these small steps so that you can start to break the cycle. That this is something within your realm of control. We can't control other people and other things, but we can control us. And it can be hard to change because you're so used to doing something. It's a strong neural pathway in your brain, but you can change. So I want you to believe in yourself and that you can change and you can do something differently. And I want you to work on that sort of root cause of the problem, not a Band-Aid. All right, friends. So just a reminder, don't forget to grab your 25% off your first 3 months of personal training with me. through my app. You just use the code NEWYEAR25 when you check out. And this is for new clients only and ends January 17th. So make sure you guys check the description down below where you can go to my page to find out more about how my app works. And then also where you can sign up. So let's kickstart 2025 and get you started on the right foot.